What's going on YouTube? In this video I'm going to be talking about a question that I get a lot, and it is a great question because everybody's asking it, and that is, how much time is it going to take to actually build a six-pack? Or how long is it going to take to be able to take your shirt off at the pool, take your shirt off at the beach, and be able to see some abs, some oblique lines? How long is it going to take? So that is the age-old question. How long is it going to take if you start today? So right now, at least when I'm making this video right now, it's mid-March. So a lot of people start asking this question around this time of the year because summer is right around the corner. So let's start diving into some of the points here that I'm going to make about how long it's going to take. So the very first point that I want to make is that the amount of time that it takes to reveal abs depends on one thing, and that is how much body fat you're currently holding. So that is your only limiting factor in this equation. Is you have this equation that basically you can only do so much in a given period of time. Let's give this a 2 to 3 month horizon before it's the middle of summer or the beginning to middle of summer. Let's give it 2 to 3 months, 2.5 months. If somebody has about 25% body fat and they want to drop down and be able to reveal that layer of fat that covers their midsection, that covers their abs, if they want to achieve that percent, that 12% body fat, to begin to see some of their oblique lines, be able to take their shirt off and be proud of it. So if they're going from 25% to 12%, the first thing you need to know is that's going to be a lot easier than somebody that's going from 40% to 12%, right? The amount of time that it takes is going to expand the more fat that you have in your midsection. So most people genetically, at least males, carry a lot of fat in our midsection, not so much in our arms. So what happens is we look in the mirror and we see our physique and we're like, hey, I've got some biceps coming in, I've got some triceps. I must not have abs. I must need to work them out to reveal them. But that is a huge misconception. You cannot work out your abs to the point where you can begin to see them. What happens is we all have abs. We all have ab muscles. It's just hidden by a layer of fat. And the amount of fat that you need to lose depends on the body fat percentage that you're currently holding. So how long does it take for you to begin to see your abs? Well, that answer is dependent on how much fat you are currently holding onto in your midsection. So what I tell people is, if your goal is to get a six-pack for when you're hanging out with family and friends at the pool or the beach, or you want to take your shirt off and you want to be proud of what you have, the journey to get to that point varies depending on the person and how much fat they're actually holding. So what I always tell people is, what's your goal? What are you currently sitting at in terms of your body fat percentage? And kind of give yourself some time, because what you do not want to do, and this is my second point, is you have this certain amount of time that is possible, like you can achieve that six-pack. However, the way that you get to that six-pack is gonna tell you a lot about how easily you're going to be able to hold on to that six-pack once you get it. Because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to lose all of this fat for a certain occasion. You lose all this fat, you starve yourself, and you get to that occasion. Let's say it's a vacation that you're planning for. You go on that vacation, and as soon as that vacation hits, your fat loss program just turns off, right? And you begin to put on all that weight again very, very fast because your body's been starving itself for months. So what you want to do is you want to give yourself a realistic timeline. What you don't want to do is try to cram it. And obviously, the more you cram, the more burnout you're going to be once you achieve that physique that you're going for. So give yourself some time, because you really don't want to do it in an unhealthy way. You want to be able to take that fat off, but you obviously want to keep it off. Like, the whole point is to completely cut it out. You don't want to cut it out and then have it come right back. The goal is to lose it and keep it off for good. So give yourself a good time horizon. I would say look further out into the future than what you think it's going to take. So if you think it's going to take a month, multiply that by 2 or 3 months. In reality, it's probably going to take that long if you're doing it the healthy way. So if you're in a caloric deficit and you're beginning to lose weight very slowly, the slower you can lose weight, the more sustainable that fat loss is going to be in the future, because you're not going to be starving yourself, you're not going to be binging on foods because you're not going to be depleted, and you're not going to be having these hardcore cravings that you're going to get if you're in a state that is starving yourself. So it's all about the long-term goal. It's all about the macro. It's all about the long haul. And so if you're watching this video right now and you notice that, hey, it's already midsummer, it's probably too late for me. Well, the whole point is to look good, feel good all the time. So expand your time horizon. Ask yourself how proud of yourself you would be if by next summer you had that physique that you had always dreamed of, right? Where next summer, maybe not this summer, maybe it's not realistic this summer because it's, we're already too close, and maybe you're sitting at a higher percent body fat than somebody else. Give yourself a realistic timeline on how long it's actually going to take, and shoot for the macro goal. Shoot big. Shoot for a time horizon, maybe a year from now, where you want to shed off 20% of the body fat that you're holding on to right now, because that's your long-term goal. Well, when you reach, let's say that you're sitting at 40% body fat and you want to shed 20% body fat to begin to reveal some of the muscles underneath that layer of fat. Well, let's say your time horizon is a year, you're going to have a much, much higher chance of keeping that weight off if you give yourself a longer time horizon. Again, mainly because you're not going to be binge eating, you're not going to be having these hardcore cravings from starving yourself. So think about the goals in a very macro sense and a very large time horizon as much as possible. I know it's not something you want to hear at this moment. I know it's mid-March, you're trying to go hardcore before the summer. And obviously, I think it's important to do that. I think it's important to take momentum, use momentum when you have it, use motivation when you have it, but obviously motivation comes and goes. So use it if you have it. Use it to jumpstart your fat loss journey, but also kind of take a step back and ask yourself, like, what is a realistic timeline for this fat loss? Like if I jump into this program and my goal is to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, well, I'm telling you right now, if you try to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, that weight's going to come right back, because you are going to be starving yourself. You're going to be having hardcore cravings. And when you do begin to eat the foods that you've been cutting out, you're going to overindulge. You're going to jump into foods. You're going to have these hardcore cravings for foods that have, highly greasy, sugary foods. You're going to jump hardcore into that, and you're going to go on the opposite side of the scale. So remember, if this is your baseline, if you're trying to eat just slightly below your baseline, your cravings, your binge eating is going to be a lot less. You're not going to be craving so much because you're going to be just below that baseline. And if you are looking for a hardcore goal, like 50 pounds in 2 months, you're going to be so far below your baseline that all of your hormones in your body's going to be craving for something. And so when you give into that natural starving instinct, you're going to go on the other side of that threshold that is that baseline, right? And it's going to create a very negative habit. It's going to create a very negative nature in your food, because you're going to look at food as the enemy, as opposed to food being something that fuels you, food that is going to nourish your body for when you are training, hiking, climbing, swimming, whatever it is that you like to do. The food is there to fuel you. So, take a step back from trying to look good in the next month. This, obviously, you want to look good next month, but think about it in a long-term goal, right? Health, fitness, being healthy, pushing your body is something that you want to be able to do forever. And you do not want to burn yourself out in the next 2 months and then just give up on it, right? And so that's what I tell people. Try to find a habit that is sustainable. Try to find something that is just below that baseline, but still below that baseline, right? You want to find something below the baseline, something that's sustainable, something that you could do indefinitely, forever, for the next 5 years. Expand your time horizon, and I promise you, you will be so proud of yourself next summer. Maybe not so much this summer. Like, you will be proud of yourself this summer if you start, but by next summer you will be so proud of yourself. And imagine in 5 years, if you continue that same level of motivation, that same level of drive to achieve the physique that you've always wanted. Imagine what you're going to achieve in 5 years. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, if you found some value in it, hit the like and subscribe button to help me share some of this value to more people.